Once upon a time in ancient India, the land was filled with mysticism and spiritual quests. It was the era of the great Buddha, Shakyamuni, whose teachings spread like ripples through oceans of people seeking enlightenment. One summer, a great event was held, an opportunity for deeper introspection and learning, a grand summer session hosted by a wealthy Brahmin. The Brahmin, known for his lavish lifestyle and profound influence, had the honor of hosting the Buddha and his Sangha. Preparations were made, bright silks adorned the castle walls, flowers perfumed the air, and lavish meals were concocted to nourish the esteemed guests during their time of mindfulness and meditation. But on the night before the session began, the Brahmin experienced an unsettling dream, a large white snake coiling around his grand castle. Traditionally, dreaming of a white snake was a sign of prosperity and good fortune. Yet the Brahmin, perhaps seeking clarity or validation, consulted a local fortune teller. This soothsayer, however, was known to harbor jealousy towards the rising fame of the Buddha. Seeing an opportunity, he whispered his deceit. "This dream is an ill omen. You will be besieged by a formidable enemy, and you will perish unless you secure yourself in solitude. Avoid any engagements. Lock yourself away with beautiful servants and wait." Confounded and fearful, the Brahmin heeded this misleading advice. The gates were closed, the servants were summoned, and the castle was secured. With the Brahmin's withdrawal, the Buddha's Sangha found themselves without the expected hospitality. The abundance turned to meager nourishment as they subsisted solely on plain wheat soup. Yet calamity bred opportunity for introspection. As voices murmured in dismay over the change in circumstances, a disciple named Mokurin stood before the Buddha. "Master, through my mystical abilities, I can summon food from the heavens to sustain us." But the Buddha replied with patience, "This is unnecessary. When I am no longer here, should a session be faced with hardship, will they rely solely on magic? This is an opportunity for us to learn contentment. Our spirits must embrace simplicity even when faced with scarcity." The disciple Ananda then offered, "My family resides in a neighboring land, prosperous and willing to aid us. I can seek their assistance." Yet the Buddha's wisdom prevailed. "If future times see no wealthy benefactors, what shall we do? Our path is not reliant on external wealth, but internal peace." Lastly, Sariputra chimed in, "Master, there are wealthy patrons of Buddhism who will gladly provide for us." But the Buddha, wise and resolute, answered calmly, "In a future devoid of affluent followers, how will we sustain our practice?" This is the lesson, a life between extremes. And so, the session continued through the summer, modest and resourceful. Marked by the simplicity of wheat soup and introspection, this episode became a parable passed down through generations of Buddhists, reinforcing the teachings of Shakyamuni. Life was embraced in simplicity, whether gifted with abundance or facing scarcity. Contentment with what one has, finding wealth not in opulence, but in spirit. This was the true essence of enlightenment. As profound as the silent teachings of the evening breeze, curling softly through the banners of the Buddha's still heart.